Today, I'm going to tell you about Speaking Together, a project in which a group of women who are seeking sanctuary in Wales and endeavouring to improve their conversational English work in partnership with local English speakers. We meet once a week via Zoom, and the project has been going for about 3 months. In a minute, I'm going to share with you a short recording that we made to show you how our conversations sound. I just want to tell you a few things about what we do first so that you will have context. Afterwards, Dr. Mike Chick will join me, and he can answer questions about why programs like this are so beneficial for everyone involved. We will also be joined by two of the participants, Henriette and Carly, and they will also answer any questions you may have. So please do use the chat area to ask your questions, and Steve will pick them up after the recording is shown. A dozen or so of us meet once a week. Before our meetings, I give the group a prompt to think about. For example, one week I asked everyone to bring along a piece of jewelry and a story to tell about it. This gives everyone a chance to think about what they want to say beforehand, if they want to. This isn't a classroom and there isn't homework, but knowing the prompt beforehand gives us all some idea of the story we want to share. When we meet, the first thing we do, just like any group of friends, is to spend a little time catching up, often sharing our personal news. There's always lots of smiles when people come into the virtual room and greet each other and compliment each other, but also people have sometimes shared their not such good news, and the rest of the group have rallied around with offers of help and recommendations. After that exchange, partners go into breakout rooms and tell each other the story they want to share based on the prompt. 15 minutes or so later, they come back into the room and tell each other stories to the whole group. The group asks questions and conversations start, and this really is the essence of what we do. Like any group of friends, we've developed our own understandings, and you will see some of them in the video. Early on, we made a symbol to say, "You're on mute," and we all use it a lot. You'll see it in the recording. I'm big on applause, encouraging people to appreciate what someone else has to say. At first, I thought we should make a lot of noise, clapping, rattling things, ringing bells. But then I realized that some of us might have young children trying to sleep. So we found quieter ways to applaud. Sometimes waving a color at each other. One night we donned sunglasses, although that made us all dizzy as we put them on and took them off and put them on and took them off every time we were trying to show our appreciation for what someone was saying. In the recording you're about to watch, I asked everyone to bring something green to wave. All of these very small things have led to a group of strangers becoming a close-knit group of friends within a very short period of time, and without the benefit of actually meeting each other. As I said, and you will see, we smile and laugh a lot. It's a joyful hour, and it's probably one of the best hours of my week every week. So, just a couple of things to say about the recording. I asked those who felt comfortable about being filmed for an audience to participate. Only 7 of us met, and for brevity's sake, we did not use the breakout rooms. The prompt was a favorite food, how it tastes, how it smells, how to cook it, what the recipe is. I also asked for memories associated with the dish. Before we started to record, I shared my own story about popcorn and how it brings back memories of my own childhood. So there are some references to popcorn in the 18-minute recording. Finally, when we are working via Zoom, we see all of our faces all of the time, which is lovely. But I have found that when recording, Zoom zooms into the person who is speaking. That is what you will see. But you will also see us as we are. Steve has helped me to slightly edit the very beginning because it was a bit messy and confusing. But otherwise, your experience will be what we experience, and that is what we wanted to share with you today. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching the video. Steve, if you'd like to share your screen and start the recording now, thank you.
There's no sound at the moment.
Okay, let's try this. Sorry, don't know why. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you
Should
just
be able to
click that share audio option as well, Steve.
Yeah, I did. I installed that. Okay. You should hear it now. Actually, let me know if you can't.
We're here. This is lovely. Okay, who would like to go first and talk about your
Yes, I can.
food and your food memories?
Look, we have very nice things to do to make type of food. It is kebab. It's called kebab. Kebab is very nice. There is a two type of kebab. One to do it as a long on the barbecue, and the other one like this big. It's on the fried, and it is very nice. It's about meat, minced meat, and with a little bit onions, potatoes, a little bit of flour, and salt and pepper, and that's all. Mix it all together and do it like that, and the fry it. It's very nice to smell, very easy to make, not difficult, and can we eat it in any time? I always remember that when I do it for my kids, even in my house. I remember when we go, when we were with my family, like when I was a child, going outside for a picnic. We usually take it with us to do it as a sandwich with in the wrap with lettuce, mayo, and the kebab and a little bit tomato. So I can't remember. It's very nice sandwich. Yeah, that's my type of food.
That sounds amazing, Farah. Absolutely amazing. That would be my type of food too.
My mouth is watering.
Thank you.
Yummy. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, you described that very well. I can taste it.
Does anyone,
One day,
does anyone want to ask Farah any questions?
I want to know what the ingredients are for the is it a shish kebab when you have it on a stick?
And on the barbecue, usually we do the shish kebab. It's a long.
Yeah.
But
Right.
at home, to be easy for the kids, as fast to make, something fast to make, it's in a fry, just to fry it
Right.
with the oil. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
I hope one day we go for a picnic and I will do the sandwich.
Oh, brilliant. We'll look forward to that.
I'll bring my popcorn. All right. Jackie, would you like to go next? I'm going to go around my computer a little bit.
Sure. My favorite food is actually a drink, and I don't think it'll be a surprise to many people. It's not an alcoholic drink. It's coffee. Now, I absolutely adore coffee. Amongst my sort of friends and relatives, Barrie included, I am known as the queen of the coffee because I love coffee, just regular coffee. I brew it myself every single morning, all the way through lockdown. If there was something that I did every morning, I brewed myself a beautiful coffee. I always have fresh cream in it, and it's just my go-to. After 5 o'clock, I switch to decaf, and I have every different type of coffee. Wow. Now, my absolute favourite, and this is the one I've got a mem. I've always liked flavoured coffees. I lived in Canada for many years, and they were sort of far before Starbucks even existed. They were doing these amazing flavoured coffees. And I would always buy them. I buy them online. Sometimes you can buy them in TK Maxx. But my absolute favourite are these, which are blueberry. Now, I had those with my late partner and I. We'd had a lovely holiday in the States, and we were finishing it up in New York, and we were in the train station, and we were waiting to get the train to go back to Washington. And I went and got us both a coffee. I got him a raspberry and myself a blueberry, and that must have been probably 5 years ago, and I've drunk it every day since. And that's
Wow.
Barrie,
We're supposed to be waving green tonight. My green makes noise as well. Well done, everybody. I forgot about the waving thing. Okay. Seminora, would you like to go next?
you are on a mute, Seminole.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, actually, I really like lots of range of different foods. I like to discover, to try different foods. I really love to try new things. But what I miss in my from my culture as a Turkish food, it is we call it yaprak sarması, which means filling the grape leaves. You use grape leaves. They are collecting it in the season. Then they cook it with. They boil it in the water. Then you can make whatever you want it to put inside it. With rice, you are making rice with spicy. Even if you can put anything with meat, but I like without meat because it needs lemon juice. So after filling the leaves with these ingredients, then you need to roll it like a shape of very thin, like shape of finger. So it is really hard to spend all time. It takes a very long time, but the taste is very nice. Yeah, if I wish now I want to eat now. I wish I can. Yeah, if I can share it with you, I hope you're gonna try one day. Maybe you will have chance to eat, inshallah. I hope so.
Thank you so much. That was lovely. And you are making me very hungry. Well done. Very well done. Does anyone want to ask Seminora any questions?
How often would you make that food, Seminole?
My mom, my mom is like a robot. She's just doing it very quickly in 2 hours. But if I do it maybe monthly, because it is hard. It is hard to do.
It sounds hard, but it sounds worth it.
Yeah, yeah. If you have patience, let's say I am not patient person, maybe I do it monthly.
Can I ask you, you said sometimes it could be made without meat.
Yeah.
What would you put? Is that just rice and lemon or something else?
Rice, spice. You can add anything, vegetables, whatever you want, but with rice, especially.
That would be for me. I like that.
But you can't put popcorn.
No popcorn.
All right.
You are too funny. That's funny. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna give you another wave of green.
My green.
Karis, would you like to go next?
Yeah, okay. So I like a lot of food, but my favorite food is a dish that my mum used to cook that I still cook now. and she occasionally cooks when I go and visit her. And it's a Welsh dish, I think, and it's known as broth. And it's very sort of traditional, very easy to make, and it's very sort of homely and comforting. So it's a nice food to have in winter, particularly because it's warming but filling. And it's corned beef, so corned beef within a tin, potatoes, carrots, and onion. And then you just boil, fill the pan with water, boil. I put lots of salt in to add to the flavour. And essentially, it's just a giant stew, basically. But it's very, well, reasonably healthy. And it just reminds me of my mum and cooking for me when I was younger. And it's something that I cook now, and something that I've cooked for friends, etc. Really simple, easy, lovely meal. So that's my dish.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Karis.
Karis, I have never ever heard of
Thank
that.
you, Karis. When we get together, we're going to have quite a picnic, aren't we?
Yeah.
Karis, is it like a cowl, which is like a Welsh soup? Yeah.
Yeah. So my mum calls it broth, but it is the actual word, Carly, you're right, is cawl, C-A-W-L. But we know it as broth. Yeah.
Does it have meat in it as well?
Yes, corned beef.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, very tasty.
Chris, can I ask? Do you feel when you do it? You said it reminds me. I am sure you have good memories with it. That makes you encouraged to share the food, especially this food, because it is from your heart. You like it, and it makes you happy to share this food with somebody else. Please try it; it's very nice.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Semina. It is something that obviously is close to me because it's what my mum makes, and it's something that, you know, I will always remember by, you know, in future. So you're right, very close to my heart. And with things like that, you give to others, don't you? You want to share that. So yeah.
I'm not sharing my popcorn. I'm not sharing. I'm keeping my popcorn. No, I'm joking. Carly, you're next in my window here. Would you like to?
So I really like Middle Eastern food, so food from Morocco or, you know, Turkey. So I went to Turkey about 10 years ago, and I really like the food there. So my favourite food I like to cook is like a Moroccan tagine, which I had over there in a sort of clay pot. And I quite like baba ganoush, which is like a roasted aubergine, and a dish called tabbouleh, which is like a chopped parsley with chopped tomatoes, onion, loads of garlic and lemon. That's the type of food I like. Yeah.
Sounds divine.
Oh.
Yes. Carly, can I ask you, do you make that food at home or do you go out to a restaurant to have it?
Both. I would go out and I would probably order that, but I try and cook it at home as well. Yeah. So I different spices, and obviously it's quite fragrant because it's the Moroccan lamb is quite sweet, but you've got the chili spice as well.
I am very hungry.
Yeah.
Is anyone else really hungry?
Yes.
Want some popcorn?
Oh.
Would you like some? If only we were all together. Henriette.
I would like to share recipes of my mother with you. It's very simple to make, and although I am not in Africa, I can find the recipes here. So it's made by plantain. You know plantain?
Mm-hmm.
Not ripe one, green one. So you pick the plantain and you cut it in small pieces. When you finish cutting, you hot the water, chop the onions and fry it. When you fry it, you pour water and put the chopped plantain inside. The kind of fish you use is the dry fish from my country. It's called mbunga. So you put it on the fire, burn it a little bit, and put in the pot. Ground pepper, onion, garlic, leeks, put inside covered. If you have started cooking here, you will smell the delicious odor right in Broadway Street there. Very, very delicious. Yes. It's also good for the winter because you eat it when it's hot.
Yes.
It's very good.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah.
So, hey, well done, all of you. You've made me very hungry. Is anybody else starving? Yeah.
Yes.
I already hungry.
None of you talked about sweet things or cake or dessert. Does anyone want to say anything about dessert, sweet things? Because it's not. I think people think us women just like our cake, but we don't necessarily just like cake, right?
Yes.
No.
I mean, I know how to do the sponge cake. It's not difficult. And if I do the sponge cake, you can add the chocolate on it or a caramel sauce on it or anything. So it's not difficult to make. Usually I do it at home.
Anyone else have any sweet things that they eat or make? Ooh.
Actually, I prefer making sweet things than cooking, and I like making cakes or any desserts. Just watching, having a recipe from YouTube or from internet, and just trying it once, but never second time I try it. Even I like it.
I'm like that. It doesn't work for me. I'm not very good at it. It just doesn't. It doesn't look like it's supposed to look.
Manur, just be careful with your teeth, please.
And I try to make a Welsh cake, and I love it. It is really nice. With the coffee, I can't say it is best. Like Welsh people are to do it. I think they do it best, but I can't say I am good. Nice.
Right, you guys. Can we give you one more, all of you, another shake of the green? Well done. Actually, I think we need a screenshot of this, Jack. Can we do this? Hold on. Let's all hold our green and have a screenshot. Sorry. Have you done it?
Yeah. One more. Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I'm going to look at all these and we'll pick one of them for our thing. Thank you so much for tonight. Can you all? You're all going to be watching this back when a lot of other people are going to be watching it back at the same time. So can we wave hi to them, to all the people that are watching our presentation? And maybe we can just finish off by giving them one more shake of the green too. Okay. Well done, you all. I'm gonna stop the recording now, if I can remember how. Okay, I don't know how, so I'm just gonna say goodbye to you all, and I will write to you, okay? Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Bye, bye, bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.
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 just going to stop that. Get a second, guys. Stop sharing.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you're still sharing, Steve, or not, but I just want to say thank you to you for showing that to us. And I'm very sorry about all that shaking of the green. It did become a little bit repetitious, didn't it? I'm so sorry. But that gave you an idea of what we do when we're all together. I'm just going to ask Mike, Dr. Mike Chick and Carly and Henriette to join us now. And we'd really like to answer your questions. We've got half an hour still of the presentation, all about questions you might have about the project.
Hi, Barry. Hi, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Barry, before you answer the question, could I mention one thing?
Sure. We're on mute. Do you know what? Some of us do this in other meetings now. I go into our English meeting and every week I want to go, look at this.
I thought that was amazing, and well done to all the participants for such a joyful video and a glimpse of the joy that exists amongst you guys. That was knockout, I thought. I wanted to say that I actually have tried Seminoo's Welsh cakes, and easily they are as good as my own mother's Welsh cakes. So no doubt at all, she is a fantastic cook.
The other thing about Seminole is that she's got an amazing sense of humor. Did you hear the bit where she said about we can't do popcorns within the grape leaves? Like, she's just so funny. She makes me laugh every single week. It's hilarious.
Well, she's here now, and I'm sure she'd like to say a few words about the project.
Join us, Seminole, on camera.
Barry, is Steve moderating the questions? Did you say, or am I? Sorry.
I'm looking through the questions now, Mike, just trying to find a good response. Mostly just saying how much they enjoyed it, to be honest, and how nice it was to hear people talking and sharing ideas with each other. Seminar, not able to open the camera at the moment. Yeah, that's a good question from Catherine Camps for Henriette. What do you get out of the sessions, Henriette? What are your kind of, how does it make you feel, and what you think you get from taking part in these things?
I'm so happy, when something like this happens and someone get involved, that means the person is important. So I'm very happy to be in this session. I thank Barry, Dr. Mike, Kali, and every friends involved in the Speaking Together project. Yes, I'm very happy, and I feel important, because when you arrive in the new country, everything is just new. So when people are surrounding you, you feel sociable, and you are not alone anymore. So I'm very happy to be here.
Can I just ask a quick question off the back of that, Henriette? Do you feel like you're making new friends here in Wales?
Yeah? Yes. On the project, I've met new friends. It started with partners, but now it's like friends. Yeah, because we are getting on very well. Yes, everything is okay.
Good. Well, that's lovely to hear that.
Thank you.
We got a question for Carly from Anne-Marie Hunter. She just wants to know, how did you get involved in this, Carly?
I'm part of the university's University of Sanctuary subgroup, so we work on an action plan to sort of maintain that status. But my friend Keris, who's in the video, was part of the project last year with Barry, and asked if I'd like to come along to it, and I agreed. So yeah, and I've got an interest in the sort of in Refugee Week and the movement and everything the university is doing anyway. So also I'm quite nosy and I like food recipes, so it was like the perfect group for me. So yeah.
Actually, the same question for you, Henrietta. Actually, how did you get involved in this?
To be honest, Dr. Mike Chick introduced me to Barrie, because I think that they planned it together, and then we were doing online class with Mike, and he wanted to help us improve our languages. That's why he introduced us to Barrie, and then yeah, that's how I got involved in this project.
Thank you. Question from Diana Wallace, which I guess is for Barrie, this one. That was a wonderful taste of the sessions, no pun intended, I guess. Can you tell us about some of the other prompts that you've used, Barrie?
Well, actually, I see that Seminole can use her camera now, and Henriette and Carly, maybe you guys can help me to remember, because it's been about 8 weeks, I think, that we've been doing this, and I do remember a few of them, and I have written everything down so that I can eventually write this up. But I think we talked about friendships one week. The one I remember is that we talked about friendships. So we talked about friends that we've had in our past, and also the participants, each of them brought a gift to give to their new friend. So, and we told the new friend why we brought that particular gift, and that was a really warm and lovely evening, as I remember it. Is that right, Carly? Was it lovely?
Yeah, that was really.
I was. It was all lovely. So.
Yeah, and we've also spoken about our idols, haven't we? The difference between cultural sayings. So where we might say to kill two birds with one stone. We discussed, each of the sayings, and we found out that our sayings, that we've all got sort of similar sayings, despite what country we're from. That was a really interesting.
And we also talk about somebody that inspire you. Yes.
We did.
Seminole is able to speak to us now. I don't know whether you wanted to tell us maybe, Seminole, about the people who inspired you, if you can remember, perhaps.
Hi, Barrie. Hi, Steve. Hi,
Hello.
everyone. Thank you for having me to speak. It was really enjoyable, and we decided to go on after we finished the project with Barrie, and we are still speaking weekly. We have a WhatsApp group, which is really great to share and speak together. It was really nice, especially as I remember the topic was language. We are talking in different languages, but we have some expressions in every single language. It is the same meaning but different languages. It was really inspiring me to have different language but the same meaning. We are expressing different languages.
Can I just ask you, Seminole, how do you think this kind of project has maybe helped you with your language, actually, to acquire sort of local sort of dialect and languages?
Yeah, well, to speak and to meet different people, and I felt really comfortable. Like I felt I know each other. I know them before. I felt very close, and we shared our cultures, and I felt really like familiar to this atmosphere, to sharing differences between us. Thank you.
I don't know, Barrie, do you want to respond to that? It's a really nice thing to hear, isn't it?
It is. It's lovely to hear. Like when I started I think some of you will remember we did Speak to Me last year, and that was in the chaplaincy on campus, a room of men, women, and children, partnered with other men, women, and children. And I think I was just so surprised. I thought that I was coming to help Mike with some, with language acquisition, like how can we be creative? And what I do is creative writing. So how can we add creativity to language acquisition was kind of the thing that prompted me. And I have to say that I walked into the room, I was always nervous. I was always afraid I was going to say the wrong thing. I'm still nervous. But what I find is that it's so much more than about language acquisition. It's about friendships. It's about learning about other people. It's about, it's just about breaking down barriers. And Mike might want to come in and say this, but there's so much negativity in the press that these kinds of, I really wanted Mike to talk about the benefits of this kind of program and what it brings, not just in terms of language acquisition. I don't know if you want to say something, Mike.
I thank you, Barry, for the chance. I didn't want to speak because there's not much I can add to this wonderful presentation. You guys have said it all, other than there's quite a lot, of course, that we have to combat negative stereotypes by the right-wing mainstream media, of course. But there is really, really, strong evidence that language acquisition is promoted by using it in situations where it's a stress-free environment, where you can actually talk about things that are meaningful rather than spend your time studying the grammar of a language. So you're actually using the language rather than studying the language, in effect. And so, it definitely does promote language fluency, in my opinion, and in the opinion of many people. But also, I think, as you mentioned, the social and psychological benefits of bringing people together, the benefits for integration, for friendships and understanding are just endless. And this type of project is replicated in lots of places across the UK. Not enough, not nearly enough. But other projects, his colleagues in Scotland, in Glasgow, are doing fantastic work in similar type projects. And I just hope that listening to you guys today inspires people to have a go, to make the effort, because I'm sure you'll agree everybody wins in these projects. Everybody learns from each other and everybody makes new friends. And so we all come out of such encounters smiling. So yet again, I'd say a big, pat on the back to everybody involved. There are lots more questions, by the way, in the chat. So I won't speak for much longer.
I'll try and get through a few of these. It's an interesting question just come in from Mohammed, and he's asking either Mike or Barry perhaps to answer this one. How do you think these type of projects help for sort of future career development?
I'm just going to say this is Mike's subject, but what I think is that people can study English for many years. If I went to another country, I could study, I'm going to just say French for many years. Whether I could actually go into a workplace and do a job without having conversational skills, I don't know. So I would think that Henriette could probably answer this as well, because do you think that having a conversation once a week with a group of women or a group of men and women will help you eventually to be in a workplace?
Oh, sorry, Henriette, your mic is muted. I think you have to do this one.
Sorry. Mike can testify, because when I start the class with him, I wasn't speaking like this. I think that deep into my heart, I know that I'm improving. And this project has done a lot. I know that teachers in the Zoom class from the Refugee Council have done a lot, but this class also helped me to improve my language. Yeah.
And Mohammed also agrees. He says, I agree with Dr. Mike. Using the language with people really share the same interests heavily accelerates the acquisition and retention of language. So I think that's great. Great to hear that. Barry, a question for you from Carolyn Renault. Do you have any male members of the group? And more so, do you think the gender makes a difference to the discussions?
This is a good question, Carolyn. How are you? It's nice to see you here. When Mike and I talked about this initially, I asked what I could do, because the first project that we did was in person, and because this isn't my area of expertise, I was nervous about doing this via, via Zoom, but yet I knew that I wanted to do something because we were all in this horrible lockdown, and that isolated people even more. So there was I knew I wanted to do something, and it was Mike that suggested that this group of women, and I think it was mostly because you were working with them, Mike, weren't you? And you were seeing them, so you kind of knew this group. I thought I would miss men because we worked with men, women, and children last year, and it was fantastic. It was a group full of just people, which is what I like. But I haven't missed the men. I think I would love to have men, but I haven't missed them. Does that answer the question really?
I think as well, Barrie, it's a lot of women, some of the women in the group practice Islam, so they can take their hijabs off in the company of women. Whereas, because we're having to do it from our homes, aren't we? We're online, we're not out.
Yes. So one of the things that we did early on was I recorded quite a lot of the first sessions we did. And there were people that wouldn't come on camera unless they were dressed properly for that. So now we don't record so that everybody can be really comfortable. And I think you're right, Carly. I think not having men in the room makes people slightly more comfortable.
Barrie, forgive me for interrupting.
Please do.
I hope Farah, it's a typical male thing. I hope Farah or Semanur are still here. I'd really like their opinion on this as well for future planning of provision. I wonder if they'd like to give an opinion.
So we're asking Semanur, I guess.
Semanur, Farah, or Henriette.
Or Henriette, yeah. The advantage of having men as part of this conversation, I suppose, is the theme.
I don't know, because this platform were the safe place for women to speak and have fun. Because when lockdown started easing, Barrie found that this was the safe place for us to speak and have fun. So I don't know if we could be very comfortable with men in the session, because sometimes you just feel like maybe you are on the session with your sister, you don't have to care a lot. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know.
There's another question which kind of follows up, and I'll ask you, Henrietta, since you're currently speaking, but about what did you think were, if there were any, the advantages of it being online? How did that kind of help to make this work, do you think?
Please say it again.
What were the advantages of these conversations taking place online, if there were any advantages?
Actually, we didn't have choice, because the current situation in the country didn't allow us to meet on face-to-face. So this was the only place we could do this session. So because we used to do the online class online for a while, so it didn't matter.
Okay, and was it just as an interested human being in that, I suppose the online conversations, it's better to have an online conversation and see somebody else's face and find things that we have in common with each other than not to have that conversation at all, isn't it? So if online is what we have, then
yes, online for now. But you are planning to meet face to face in the future. You are planning to gather and have to see somebody on the face. This is just now on the online. Later we will meet.
Yes, and Semanur has responded as well. So it was an advantage to meet online, to be at home and to feel comfortable, with an environment, and also to have a chat over a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm just going to add one more thing to the question about men and women. I feel like sometimes women do need sisters. Like sometimes we do need a good friend, and that's what we had. I think we were friends very quickly. I was surprised at how fast we were, like, so happy to see each other every week. Do you agree, Henriette, with that? Like, we were just happy in each other's company. So
Yes, I agree.
Not that we wouldn't be happy with men, but we were happy.
Yes.
Yeah, can I add to Barry? I don't know, but as you said, Barry, like a sister, I felt, and I felt really comfortable to meet and to speak as sisters, and as well in different divided rooms, 1-to-1 as well we did, and in a main Zoom room we meet again. It was like we are meeting in different rooms and then coming back to main room to share what we talked and what we had a conversation. And as a gender, I don't know, but I felt more comfortable, honestly, as a sisters. Yeah, I agree with you, Barry. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. There's a couple of other questions coming in. I think they're mostly for Barry, these really. This is a pretty straightforward question from Mary Jenkins. Would it be possible to publish recipes alongside memories, Barry?
Oh, you've just read my future planning thing. I think on Monday night we're going to I'm really happy that somebody that I've worked with before as an editor, as a co-editor and co-producer of books, somebody that I've worked with is coming to join us on Monday night and become a participant. But our plan is to, and I was going to talk to Henriette and Carly don't know about this, but I was going to talk to us about writing a book. So the participants in the group have renamed themselves from Speaking Together to Cafe Chit Chat. And we are going to compile a book of, I hope we're going to, as long as everybody agrees, we're going to compile a book of recipes, but they're going to be, we're going to have memoir with it. So we'll be writing memoir and recipes. We've got one of our participants is Ida, and she's a graphic designer. So we've already got like in-house expertise to produce this book. And thank you to English Research, I've got the money to print and publish it. And so this is not just a dream, this will come true, you know, so watch for this in the next year. And we're going to produce that book of memoir and recipes. And we have all kinds of ideas. That's the big idea. The even bigger idea is to sort of help other people start groups like this wherever there is a need for them. And that's kind of like what I will be working on as part of my my kind of research, part of my job. And yeah, we've got loads of ideas, but mostly we want to meet in person. I think we want to go for a walk and have a cup of coffee together.
Yep.
Yeah. Simple things.
The book sounds like a great idea. I wonder if maybe you want some stories and voices in that. But I would say that, wouldn't I? Because you know what I do. But
yes.
A question from Katrin. It's a few again, Barry, but okay. What other topics would you be planning to discuss in the group? Okay,
well, I do this week by week. All my teaching is very organic. As I'm driving somewhere, I get an idea. So next week we're going to be talking about our fantasy vacations. I can see you having your lunch, Catherine. It's all right, it's nice. Yeah, we're going to talk about our fantasy, the place we want to visit that we haven't been to before. So this is to do with like hopefully lockdown will be easing in the next few months. And, some of us might have been compiling lists of places to go. So I just kind of want to hear where everybody wants to go. And then I've also, there's loads of things that we can talk about, I have to say that people like Karis, who have been so helpful in both projects that I've run, come up with ideas all the time, like doing a mini desert island discs is on my list. Sometimes I'm just kind of struggling with the technology. How do we share sound? How do we share music over Zoom? So, but there's all kinds of things in the pipeline.
There was a really good comment earlier, which I've just gone back to, from Mina Perry. It's lovely to hear. I don't really sure whether you saw this, Barry. The chat is well worth visiting for everyone later on. So many good comments on that. Lovely to hear you sharing your favorite food we do similar things in our group. We cook and meet for an international buffet, and we would be happy for you to join us, and we can all taste each other's cooking. And that's Bali's ethnic minority support. So yeah, great. Yeah.
Can I just say that I always think food is the thing that people love talking about. We started our project during Ramadan, so I avoided food for quite a long time, but we are into food now.
Yeah, we had a conversation, didn't we, when we met kind of socially a week or two back, and I think we ended up having something to eat and surprisingly, to see Mike's face, something to drink. But we were saying that two things that pull people together, and I think this is a great example of that, just as an observer, are things like food and I think also music. You know, you talk about those things, and suddenly everyone's on the same page. A question for Mike from me. As we head for the end of Refugee Week, Mike, I'm just wondering how you would sort of maybe to some extent sum up how the week has been, and also how something like this, which is so informal and, you know, connection based and friendly, how that works as part of, you know, the whole process of what you're trying to achieve, you know, what we are all trying to achieve through Refugee Week, I suppose.
Thanks, Steve. Two parts to your question then. How has Refugee Week been? I think I speak for all of us here and everybody who's attended the sessions. It's been fantastic. We learned an awful lot, you know, met some new and wonderful people and heard about in more detail about the Welsh Government's Nation of Sanctuary aspiration, which really is heartening, because you feel as if you're part of something bigger than just your own individual projects. The second part of your question about the value of informal projects like this, yeah, I think it's clear from this today's conversation. Everybody can see it's of incredibly important value. You know, to bring people together, to you know, extend the hand of friendship and understanding is of benefit to everyone. With regards to language development, which of course is, you know, I'm bound to speak about that because that's my job. I think that such projects, you know, are of huge importance to complement rather than to replace more formal approaches to you know, classroom language acquisition. So yeah, have a really important role to play. And like I say, to hear Barrie and Henriette and Farah and Semanur talking about plans to take this forward, I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon to hear that. I think it's brilliant. And you know, a big pat on the back to everybody involved. But I'm not surprised, because, you know, there's so many great people involved in the project. And yeah, if anybody is here thinking, well, I wonder if I could do that in my location or my context, I'd say absolutely, you know, please do give it a go. Like, you can see the results, you know, they're plain to see. Steve, there is one question though, just before you asked me, was from a colleague, Anne-Marie Hunter, about what about people with very low levels of English? Because, you know, like me studying Welsh, it would be, I wish I could articulate in Welsh as well as Henriette or Semanur or Farah or the rest of the guys can do in English. That's my aim. So they are an inspiration for me. But, you know, for folks with just beginning in the language learning journey, yeah, it's tough. But I think we should be looking to form groups, because, you know, the more you use the language, the faster it will develop, for sure.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Henriette, I totally mispronounced your name. Just by my pure simplicity. Sorry.
It's okay.
I wonder if you wanted to just have a final few words on, you know, what it's meant to you, I suppose, being involved in this kind of project. Henriette.
Yes. Please, I didn't understand very well.
Sorry, I wonder if you could maybe summarize how you feel, you know, having been involved in this project and being involved in this project, in fact.
Honestly, I would like to thank Dr. Mike, Barrie, Kali, everyone in the project. And then what I would say now is that I've been in this project and I've learned many things. I learned culture of my partners, many things about them. So I'm very happy to have met them, and I would like to keep the conversation and the project ongoing because it's very good project. I would recommend everyone who is new in a country to do the same. Yes.
Yes. And this time next year, you will be signing copies of your new book.
Hopefully.
Anyway, Barrie, I just hand back to you just to close off, perhaps. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yes, I just want to thank everybody because I thanked everybody at the beginning. Obviously we've been have great support from you, Steve. I couldn't have done this without you, and from Carl Sykes, who's also helped us with technical stuff, and from the committee of people who have set up Refugee Week. And this whole week has been just amazing. And I don't think we thank Mike enough because Mike, you've been the driver, so thank you for what you've done. And I need to thank all the participants, obviously, but I think what the people I've forgotten to thank are the people that have come here today and listened to our presentation. As rough and ready as it is, thank goodness Jane Hutt started off our week with something really spiffy, because this has been very organic, but this is what we wanted to share with you. So thank you very much.
Barrie, just to say two final comments at the end, because they are a really nice way to end this. For you and Mike and your colleagues, Anne-Marie Hunter, this has been so inspiring and uplifting. A great end of the week and start of the weekend, which is lovely. And the comment I liked before that was great for Mike with English language, was from Semina, who's just learned that two birds with one stone has the same meaning in several languages. So it brings it all together in a way, doesn't it? Thank you for allowing me to be part of this as well, Barrie. And obviously, I don't know, do you want to let people know how will it be shared later on for people to access?
I think Mike's the one to ask that. We're hoping to put all this on YouTube, aren't we, Mike? I'm not real up with all that stuff.
Yes, sorry, I didn't catch the question, Steve. Did you say what's going to happen to all the sessions?
I was just wondering if people have missed any of this, if they're going to be able to access it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been so much information and inspiration throughout the week that it's crucial that we keep recordings of the events open for the public. And so I think the plan is to have our university YouTube page for the University of Sanctuary, where recordings of events such as this can be housed forever and ever. How's that?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thanks very much. Lovely to meet you all, and well done on an amazing project.
Can we all wave something as we leave? That would be brilliant. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.